In the GIS project lifecycle, there are many instances where we need to import or export our GIS project files into some other software platforms. So for example, we can export our GIS project file from ArcGIS or QGIS into a different software platform like AutoCAD, which is a CAD-based platform for further processing and manipulations. Or we can export our data from a GIS environment into a different GIS environment such as Google Earth, or even a graphical oriented platform such as Adobe Illustrator or Inkscape. We could also export our data from the GIS environment onto a web map, as we are going to see later on in this video. I'm going to use this very platform which supports JSON or GJSON data format. So later on, I'll show you how you can import your data from ArcGIS or QGIS right into a web standard format using the geojson.io platform. So let's start with ArcGIS. So basically the procedure will be the same for whichever platform you need to export your data to, or for whichever platform you wish to import your data from. And the steps are just for you to be sure that both platforms support a particular file format. So for example, what I'm referring to is AutoCAD has some file formats that it supports. So if the file format is supported in ArcGIS or QGIS, then definitely you can export your file between the two platforms. So also, if it is the web has its own standard file formats. So whatever the name of the file format is, as long as it is supported in either ArcGIS or QGIS, and it is also supported on the web platform, then you can interchange the project files on both platforms. So let's start with AutoCAD as an example. So here in ArcGIS, I would like to export maybe, let's say, this map layer, which is a polygon layer, into AutoCAD. So I know that AutoCAD supports some of these file formats, including DWG and then the DXF file format. So if I can convert or export my ArcGIS file into DWG or DXF, then I know that I should be able to import it into AutoCAD. So let's do that. So to do that, to convert or export your map, this layer in particular, to DXF or DWG, which is supported in AutoCAD, you will go to the Arc toolbox. So when you go to the Arc toolbox, you expand the conversion tool. So from the conversion tool, you will see that there are so many options available. The one we're interested in is tool. So here we can export our map layer to CAD. CAD is the general name for AutoCAD-like applications. So this is computer-aided drafting. That's the meaning of CAD. So we can export or convert our data layer to a CAD program. So here we have export to CAD or add CAD field. So the one you need is to export this layer to CAD. So just double click on it. And then from the export to CAD dialog box, we need to choose the layer we're interested in. So this is the layer I want to export. That's the polygon layer, Nigerian Admin 1. So I select it, then you select the type. So you can select the type of file you want. So there are different file formats, including DWG and then DXF, different versions. So here I'm going to select maybe DWG 2010. Then the output file, I'm going to select the location to save my file. So I'm going to use this folder, which is just in my home directory. So select, so type in the name. So here we'll just type in the name of the layer, ng admin. You can actually use any name as long as it makes sense to your project. So Nigeria admin 1, and look at the save as type. Of course, it's just CAD drawing dataset. So select save, and these options are optional. So just click on OK to do your conversion. So our export to CAD is successful. Now I will remove the CAD layer and then check the project file to be sure that my file is there. So now when you check the folder where you have the data, you should see a CAD file generated in that folder, and you can open it in AutoCAD directly. So let's do that. So this is our exported DWG file, which is an AutoCAD file. So now I will go into AutoCAD and then import this DWG file. So here in AutoCAD, all I need to do is to go to open and then navigate to the very folder and then select my file and then just click on open. So of course, I'll be prompted with some security warnings because the file was not originally generated by an Autodesk licensed software. So I'll click continue because I know the source of the file, so it's safe for me to So here I have my file directly imported into AutoCAD. So we have successfully exported our layer from ArcGIS and then imported it into AutoCAD. So here I can continue with further processing and other manipulation. And one beautiful thing is that your file will be imported into the AutoCAD on the right coordinates of your drawing. So here you can see the X and Y coordinates are exactly the latitude and longitude values we have in the ArcGIS platform. So if I want to do the reverse, it's the same thing. All I need to do is to save my AutoCAD drawing in a format that is supported in ArcGIS. So I'll just click on save, then select any of these formats which is supported in ArcGIS, and then go back to ArcGIS and import it or add it as a layer. It's as simple as that. So let's do some other conversions. As we already see, there are so many other file types we can convert to, such as KML. So we can do KML. So KML is the standard file format supported in Google Earth. So let's do that. So let's export this same layer back to a Google Earth file. So I'll just select from my Arc Toolbox, Conversion Tools. I'll select to KML, then map to KML. So double click on it. So here I have map document, the data frame, the output file, and then map output scale, which is optional. So I'll just select my map document, so which is this, then click on open, then the map layer, which is of course this, and then the output file. So I'll click on browse, go to my project folder, other files, and then give it a name. So I'm going to give it just the same name as the drawing file. So Nigeria admin 1, but this time around it's going to be a KML file. So save. Then this is an optional settings. All these are optional settings. So I'm not going to worry about them. Just click on OK. So the process is running. Upon successful completion, it is going to generate a KML file. And a KML file is a file that we can open in a software platform like Google Earth. So let's check our project folder to see if our KML or KMZ file was successfully generated. So here I have the KMZ file. KMZ and KML are basically the same thing. KMZ is just like the zip version of KML. So let's open up the KMZ or KML file in Google Earth. So minimize, go back to Google Earth, then file open, then navigate to the location, select it and click on open. So here I have my layer, which was originally in ArcGIS, successfully imported into the Google Earth environment. So here are the polygons. As you can see, they are in red. If I off the layer, it turns them off. So this is that. So the same procedure, if you need to export a KML or KMZ file back to ArcGIS. So the approach is just the reverse. Just save it in a format that is supported in ArcGIS and you successfully import it in ArcGIS. Apart from these options, I would like to also show you the options available under the file menu, where you have the export map option. So if you select it, you can export the map document into different other file types, including Adobe Illustrator and even SVG. So let's do that of SVG so that we can open it in an Inkscape software, which is just like an Adobe Illustrator. So I'm going to give it a project a name. So I'll just use the same name as before, but this time around, the file type is going to be an SVG file. So here I have some other settings which are optional. I'm going to leave the default. Then make sure that I'm in my other files folder, which is my GIS project folder. So I click on save. So this will also generate or export this particular map into an SVG file that we can later on open up in a graphic program like Adobe Illustrator. So I'm going to check my project folder to be sure that my SVG file was successfully created. So here I have the SVG file, and as you can see, the icon is even indicating that of Inkscape, which means we can successfully import it into Inkscape for further manipulation. So let's do that quickly. So I'll go back to Inkscape, then go to File, Open, then navigate to my project folder, select the SVG file, and then click on Open. So here I have my map successfully imported into Inkscape, which was originally in ArcMap or ArcGIS environment. So the same procedure, if you want to do the reverse, is the same procedure as we did before in other platforms. So you just save as any of the file types that is supported in ArcGIS, and then you'll be able to open it directly in ArcGIS. So that is that. So let's see how we can do the same thing in QGIS. Here, all you need to do is right-click on the layer of interest. For example, let's assume we are going to export this particular layer, this point layer. You just need to right-click, then select export. So you can export selected feature, or you can export all the features in the layer. So let's export all the features in the layer. So the formats, under format, you now select the particular format you are interested in. So there are so many formats available, including database formats, even a Microsoft spreadsheet format, that's XLS, which is an XML file format, and GeoPackage, AutoCAD, DXF. You can even export it to CSV, comma separated value. So here, let's export that part to a DXF file format so that we can import it into AutoCAD. So I'll select DXF, then navigate to the folder where I want to save the file. So here I'm going to save it in others file project under my QGIS project folder. So I'll just give it a name as INEC offices. So note that the file type is a DXF file format, which is an AutoCAD supported file format. So save, leave other options as default, then click on OK. I don't need to add it to my current map, so I just click on OK. So upon successfully export, we can now check the project folder to be sure that our file is there. So let's check it. So here is my DXF file in my QGIS other files project folder. So I can import this in AutoCAD by simply going to the AutoCAD environment, and then from the AutoCAD environment I can go to Open, then navigate to my project folder. I have it in QGIS, others, and then the file format is DWG, DXF, not DWG. So as you can see, because it's set to DWG, that's why I cannot see it here. So we need to change it to DXF, which is very important. So select it and then click on Open. Then I need to zoom to extend to see my file. So these are the points, but they are very tiny because the default points style in AutoCAD is a small point. So let me reset the point style. So the point type, I'm going to change it to this size, which is 0.5, and this type. Okay. So these are the points imported directly into AutoCAD from QGIS. So the same thing, if you wish to import the polygon map, is the same approach, just the way we did it with that of ArcGIS. So these are the points, the INEC offices, while these are the polygon for the states imported from GIS environment. So let's go back to our QGIS. So assuming we want to export one of the maps to a web environment, we want to create a web map. So the supported file format here is called GeoJSON. So if you click on File, Open File, you see that we have GeoJSON, we have TopoJSON, we have GTFS, KML, CSV, and some other file types. So since we have worked with some of these, I would like to show you how we can work with GeoJSON. Even though we can import KML directly here, but let's work with a JSON file. So I'll go back to my QGIS environment. So let's import or export this polygon layer into a web map. So I'll right click, select export all features. Then under the file format, I'm going to select a GeoJSON. Then give it a name. So I will just give it the MGA admin1. And then note that the file type is GeoJSON file format. So select save. So I don't need to add it to map. I will just click on OK. If it is successfully exported, I will see it in my project folder. So let's check the project folder. And here is the file, which is in GeoJSON format. So GeoJSON is just a file format that is similar to JSON. If you know what a JSON file is, especially if you have a JavaScript programming background, you should know what a JSON file is. So GeoJSON is just the geographical enabled JSON file. So to open it, here I'm on geojson.io, which is just a platform to view maps. So I'll navigate to my folder where I have the GeoJSON file, select it, click on open. So this should import my file just like that. So as you can see, the content of the GeoJSON file is just a text that contains arrays of latitude and longitude that form the polygons. So for each polygon, I have the details, and I can even delete a polygon from the map. So as you can see, this is gone. So when I'm done with manipulating the web map here, I can save it back to any of these formats, which I can open in a GIS environment. So I can easily save it as a shapefile and then open it in QGIS or ArcGIS. Or I can even open it, save it as a CSV file, and then open it in a Microsoft Excel document. So basically, this is how you can import or export your GIS layers from ArcGIS or QGIS into other software environment. So remember, the approach is basically the same thing. You make sure that platform you want to export to have supported file type in the platform you want to import. Then make sure that you do the export and then import correctly. So I hope this video was useful and it will help you in exchanging file between different GIS platforms. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.